Good morning, everyone. This is Scott Coburn, and I'd like to welcome you all to a special edition of Training Tuesday. With me today is Diana Patton, who is a QuickBooks Pro advisor and consultant for many townships around the state. Diana has also been a presenter for PSATS on all things QuickBooks for many years now, and I'd like to thank her for joining us today.
Well, thanks for having me today, Scott. I appreciate it.
Good. Diana, we have a bunch of upcoming QuickBooks events, the first of which is going to be at the end of February, and that's QuickBooks for Beginners. If you just want to give a little bit of a sense of the things that you cover and why people should be joining.
Oh, absolutely. Even if you are a 5-year user of QuickBooks, I always encourage people to take the beginners class, because one of the things that I do with the beginners class is teach you, or show you, I should say, how to create a company and how to navigate through your chart of accounts and edit and things like that. And I've always been a firm believer in knowing why I do things and not just do this because I'm telling you to do this. So that's why I love the beginners class, and so many people have told me how great it is. They've learned so much from it because I'm literally teaching them from the ground up on how QuickBooks is built for your township and why we do what we do.
That's great. And just so everybody knows, that is a 2-day virtual class. The first session will be on February 20th. And then the second session will be on February 27th. Okay, switching gears a little bit, I know that there's been a lot of discussion in the QuickBooks world over the last couple of months about changes that Intuit is making to the QuickBooks platform. And I know that there's been some discussion about that on the PSATS discussion. So we are hosting a webinar in early March where you're going to be walking through the enterprise solutions. And that's a webinar that will be on March 6th. So then basically you'll just be walking everybody through all of the various features that Solutions has to offer. Okay, and then last but not least, we've got Diana doing double duty at the PSATS conference, which will be from April 14th to 17th in Hershey. On the Sunday of the conference, Diana will have an in-person class from 1 to 4 on tips and tricks for QuickBooks. Want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Again, to me, I think even I learn things all the time. So whether you're a seasoned user of QuickBooks or a new user, I still think the tips and tricks is going to be very useful for you. As we all know, the more heads you get together, the more you learn. So I've got some really cool things that I teach with the tips and tricks, and it's a great class that I feel that nobody wants to miss.
Great. And then back by popular demand, last year you did a QuickBooks Roundtable as a conference workshop. We will again offer that on either Monday or Tuesday afternoon at the conference. That date and time will be established here the next couple of weeks. But what happens during that workshop?
Oh, it's an open discussion. We had standing room only last year. It was really exciting to have everybody in the room with us. We just had, again, open discussion, and people just raised their hands and shouted out questions. And I had a live demonstration of a QuickBooks program up. And so we were able to answer questions and again, people sharing thoughts and ideas on how the program works. So it was, again, another thing you don't want to miss, because it's really exciting to be in a room with that many QuickBooks users.
That's great. Okay, so to recap, there's a lot of opportunities to learn with and from Diana in the next couple of months. We've got the QuickBooks for Beginners on February 20th and 27th. That is a virtual class. And then we have the webinar on March 6th, which is the primer on enterprise solutions. And then last but not least, the April 14th in-person class in Hershey, tips and tricks for QuickBooks. And then the conference workshop, which is, as Diana mentioned, a roundtable. I know, Diana, we've got a lot of township supervisors who are brand new, a lot of secretaries and treasurers around the state who are just getting their feet wet with municipal government and municipal finance. What other sorts of things do you do with our members on QuickBooks and finance generally?
Well, I've been very fortunate and thankful to PSATS for putting me out there and letting townships know that they can call upon me to help them with their QuickBooks issues that they might have. One that we just went through was the W-2 issue, and I had many townships reach out to me and call.
Just looking further ahead, Diana is always gracious enough to offer a number of classes that PSATS generally hosts towards the end of the year. We've done sessions on QuickBooks and the chart of accounts, QuickBooks and payroll, and then also year-end reporting. So stay tuned for more information on all of those as we get those scheduled for later in 2024. Diana, I appreciate you spending a few minutes with us this morning. I hope everybody finds the new format of Training Tuesday to be worth the watch, and join us next month as we bring another PSATS presenter in to talk about what they're doing. Thanks, Diana.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Take care.